That's what happens. All the good stuff gets edited out or we miss.
Right, and then it's not recording, but now we are.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Red light.
October 12th, episode 9, KC Sports Bros podcast. This is your host, Ace, to my right.
Your boy Dre, to my right.
Big Earn, to my right.
CJ Mayo.
Coming back with another good list of content. I'm going to talk about the Chiefs, recap the Lions game. The Colts game, and then preview the Texans game. Yeah, that's my bad.
Please.
Hey, shout out Trey, too. We got to shout out Trey.
Yeah, appreciate it.
To CJ Mayo's right.
I mean, the last couple episodes, you've been off as the host. I mean, you're not introducing us no more.
Do we need to bring in the closer?
We doing our own final takes.
Hey, shout out Pun, too.
Right.
We got a guest.
My boy Jerron in the building.
Geronimo.
Then we'll preview the Chiefs' next game. Then get into some Baker Mayfield saga. And then our week 5 surprises. And then the weekly Monday Night Football prediction. And then our top 5 of the week for episode 9, our top 5 comedians. So that should create some good content.
Yeah.
So we'll jump into Chiefs versus Colts. That did not quite go.
Yeah, play that twice. Play that again for me.
Run it back. Drop one of Clues Bonds for me.
Right.
That game clearly did not go how anybody expected. It was
Envy.
tough to watch. Big Earn.
The Drake sigh.
Yeah. Deeper. Oh, wow. I like that. Yeah, like Nell said, final score 19-13. I believe we literally did that episode right before the game, minutes before kickoff. We all predicted almost a blowout. I predicted a blowout, and I thought they were going to get to a big lead early. Obviously, that wasn't the case. There was just a lot of things happening in that game. Penalties, which has been hurting us honestly since last year, with penalties, killing drives where we're driving down the field and then we'll get a holding penalty, and then right after a penalty we get another penalty which sets us back. And I don't know, man. I have a lot of thoughts, but I want to get y'all thoughts before I really jump into what I got. You got anything, Dre?
Number one thing I noticed was just injuries. Like, everybody was going down, bro. Like, we lost everybody. Of course, Tyreek didn't play, but then Mahomes got injured because fat-ass Cam Irvin stepped on him. Garbage. And then Sammy.
That's your boy, ain't it?
Not anymore. I never thought I'd see the day where I'd be asking for Eric Fisher to come back. And then Sammy Watkins went out early. Chris Jones got hurt. Didn't Hitchens get hurt? He went out.
Got hurt. Growing.
I mean, all of our top players were going down, man. Like
Williams.
I think Williams got. Did McCoy play?
So no, McCoy. Yeah. So here's my thing. So McCoy is known for not taking care of the ball, or to the visual eye of not taking care of the ball. And the time that he did fumble, the guy punched it out.
He was kind of running loose with the ball, though.
But no, he had it high and tight. He had it high and tight for McCoy's standards. Yeah. He had that high and tight, and he fumbled. And I didn't see him after that.
No, but
I don't understand that because he's our offense.
It's like he's on a pitch count or something.
Yeah, he's the one who I believe that in order for us to become a better team going forward, especially in the winter months, especially in the playoffs, we need to run that thing.
Yeah.
And Damian Williams, he's coming off the injury and stuff like that. His timing was just off. You can tell, especially with that very final play, that 4th down play. We ran that dive play to Damian Williams. And that play is designed for Justin Houston. He is supposed to come unblocked because everybody's blocking down. But that timing of that play was just off. If that timing was on, Justin Houston, I don't care who you are, should not be able to come down and make that tackle.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was so much the timing. I thought it was a terrible play call.
I mean that too. Yeah,
that was
you can't take the ball out of your MVP, the MVP of the league,
man.
Hand in that situation. I want to run past. What do you call it? RPO.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, whenever you have a game where Byron Pringle is your leading receiver with 6 catches for 103 yards, which hey, he's playing good. He is breaking tackles. He wants it more than anybody.
He had a touchdown,
it seems
too.
like, yeah, and he had the only touchdown of the Chiefs offense. So, I mean, when you rush the ball 14 times, you throw the ball 39 times. I mean, I guess that's for a Chiefs team with Patrick Mahomes. That's okay with me, but we definitely need to sprinkle in more runs in order for us to be successful down the road.
Yeah, I just felt like they pretty much abandoned the run. It seemed like and that's why I couldn't understand that final play call. Like you had the ball in Mahomes' hands the whole game, and then you go away from him. Now,
of all times,
like that just didn't make sense to me at all. You've been having it in Mahomes' hands, running for his life throughout the whole game. No blocking, no protection at all. But our run defense is just, I mean, it's been trash for the last few years. Run defense is not good at all, and that's gonna be the recipe for these other teams. That's how they're gonna try and attack us from here on out. You can guarantee you're gonna see a healthy dose of Houston trying to run on us, Houston Texans trying to run on us for the next game.
Carlos Hyde,
Duke.
Everybody's gonna go after that same model
Sean.
and try. So we got to make sure we in our gaps, making sure that we're fundamentally sound on defense because that's every team is gonna try and attack us the same way now.
Oh yeah, they seen the recipe. I mean, everybody in the stands, on the sidelines, on the field knew they was gonna run it, and then they did it, and then it worked every time. But the biggest takeaway for me from this game, of course, the penalties, but the injuries. I mean, usually it's kind of one or the other. It never really hits us both like that at the same time. So, I mean, you're losing key defensive players and offensive players. I mean, and I like that Pringle was able to step up. I mean, of course, Pat's going to throw it to whoever he wants to throw it to, but in that case, that's all he had at certain points of the game. So, I mean, I like that he was able to make the best of that opportunity, but we need our guns back. I mean,
yeah,
I still don't think we should rush Tyreek back, but Sammy, I mean, he's supposed to be there.
He's always hurt.
Yeah, I mean, you write him in with a pencil, definitely.
Travis Kelce having mental breakdowns.
Yeah, offensive penalties.
Felt like there was an old Travis dropping balls. It's like his head wasn't even in the game.
Yeah, 10 targets, only 4 catches.
Like he's about to fight Eric Bieniemy on the sidelines.
He did apologize though.
I don't care, man.
Of course, he's gonna apologize.
If I was
Yeah,
Bieniemy, I would have slapped the stuff out of him.
He wanted
He was about to.
Yeah, because
The enemy was about to get in his.
he a former player too, so he
They hugged it
don't
up.
play.
Yeah, they're brothers, but you can't be doing that to your coaches. Come on.
No, you can't.
I don't care who you are, but yeah, injuries, penalties are definitely the big factors, and then the defense just completely giving the game away. I mean, they didn't even have to throw it.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand that, but I mean, you hold the Colts to 19 points. You hold anybody to 19 points. I'll make that bet every time that the Chiefs win. So it's the offense that killed us that game.
They definitely didn't play up to par for sure. But like you said, Mahomes running for his life. Never thought we'd miss Eric Fisher till he was gone. But we need him back.
So we know what the blueprint is now of how to beat the Chiefs. It's run the ball a lot, keep away from the Chiefs offense.
Same as last year.
Same as last year. It's gonna be
because
same.
that time of possession was huge.
Yeah, it's gonna be same anytime. Yeah, because you want to limit the possessions of the Chiefs. You want to limit the time that they have the ball, and the way you do that is run the ball. So
because Mahomes can't beat you if he ain't on the field.
Yeah, and I mean, we just got to capitalize whenever we have the ball from now on. I mean, hate to say it, but that's just the way it is. The offense is gonna have to win these games.
Frank Clark.
I was going to ask you about that.
I was trying to stay away from it, actually.
We're paying this guy, and he's doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the tackle for loss.
I'm done. I need more out of Frank Clark.
2 total tackles.
1 sack on the year. What do we do? 5 games? 1 sack? And he's getting paid how much?
A lot.
A lot of damn money. And he ain't producing at all. Like, I need Frank Clark to step it up.
Let me produce you. Yeah.
Well, and we know that game didn't quite go according to plan. What about the Texans?
This was a game that scared me from the get go before we even started the season. So, I mean, not to get too much into it, save it for a later segment, but Deshaun, he balled out last week, and they definitely got speed and good hands on the outside on the offense. Their wideouts are really good. Our cornerbacks are not very good.
Breland had a rough game.
Yeah,
After we hyped him up before the
He
game.
had a rough game.
yeah, that was tough. And I mean, it's Carlos Hyde, but look like anybody can get out there and run on the Chiefs right about now. But
I'm saying.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit scared of Houston.
Let's see. Chris Jones is out, and Hitchens is questionable.
Fisher's out, which we already knew.
Linebacker O'Daniel is out.
Yeah, he hadn't played all year.
Absolutely.
Tyreek's a game time decision and practicing. But
Kenny Stills is questionable.
I'll take that. But they still got Fuller and Hop.
Yeah, still got Hopkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, our secondary scares me in this game because Hopkins and Fuller, like I could just see us getting torched, bro. Like
I'm not scared though, because it seemed like every year we've been playing the Texans and we always play them like they're nothing.
Yeah.
We go down to Houston and beat them. They come here and beat them.
Deshaun got another year under him though.
But I guess we haven't played Deshaun yet though.
No, we haven't played
So
them yet.
that I guess that is a different thing.
And they lost Clowney.
But as far as like the coaching, the scheme, and things like that, I feel good about it. It might not be the blowout that if we were healthy.
I'm nervous.
You nervous?
I am nervous.
Yeah,
This
the-
game scares me.
Their defensive front kind of scares me with the way the offensive line showed last week.
Yeah, Merciless is a beast, man.
Yeah, and JJ.
and Watt's still
JJ
on the
Watt.
other side. Like
Yeah, that's true. Well,
Hopefully, the offensive line can pull it together. At least
I'm just glad we were at home.
keep
That-
Pat upright.
Yeah, that'll definitely
that'll help us out a little bit
Yeah.
with the crowd noise and
Honestly, I'm kind of
Being
expecting a
comfortable.
shootout because I mean I know we can. Obviously, we can score, and I believe that we have the better of the two quarterbacks. But collectively, Houston they looking good right now.
yeah.
And I know that's kind of been a talk on this week about redoing that 2017 draft.
Oh yeah, I seen that too.
And so it's been a lot of talk about Watson and Mahomes. Who do
Being
you think
1-2.
has the better game tomorrow?
I-
Not who wins, but just out of them two.
I mean,
who has
Mahomes is going to have the better game just because I think he's going to pass a lot more. And if it goes the way that I think it's going to go, I think he's going to have to be the guy with the ball in his hands and making plays. So, I mean, even last week he still passed for over 300 yards and had that one touchdown.
Yeah, them stats gonna be padded.
So I mean, Patrick Mahomes is always going to put on the show. He's always going to put you in position to win. So I believe he's going to have a better game overall, but it could go over to Houston favor just because I think they got more, offense and defense and special teams and healthier players.
that was gonna be my biggest thing. It was health. Like I think health is gonna play a huge role in this game. How healthy is Mahomes? Is that ankle? Is Tyreek gonna play? Is Sammy gonna be healthy?
Would you play Tyreek tomorrow?
I mean, I
You got to be 100 for me.
yeah, man.
yeah.
like,
I'm good with him sitting for a couple more weeks.
I mean, if
I don't want him to, but
our-
I want him healthy, man. I want him for the whole season.
If our top two receivers are Pringle and Hardman again, I mean,
Yeah, and Robinson,
no disrespect, but
who fell off the face of the earth.
ain't none of them Tyreek or Sammy Watkins.
Did he come back from Oakland?
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough, man.
Them fans got him.
I guess in Baltimore.
And maybe we'll get a
He had
better
a good game.
a better Kelsey showing on tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it starts there for sure. I think even with,
I mean, because they started off with him even in the Colts game, and then I guess
he had
with
10
with
targets.
some drops.
Yeah, early and often they was going to him, but
And then it just kind of went away.
Yeah, he got 10 targets. I mean, Tyreek is away. Sammy Watkins got hurt. Like, he has to step up. He has to step up in order for us to be able to win these games whenever the other key pieces are out. I mean, simple and plain.
And we gotta run the ball. Like,
Hopefully.
I know Andy likes to pass, but we cannot completely abandon the run. Otherwise, the defense can just pin their ears back and come after us because they know we're just gonna pass on every down.
Yeah,
Like,
we got it.
we gotta keep the defense honest and at least make them Give them some kind of threat of the run.
We got to be 70-30, not 80-20 or 90-10. I mean, that last game was pretty much 90-10 because we only rushed the ball like 14 times.
Yeah, we need some
And
type
we
of
threw the
run
ball
production.
40 times. So
Some type of production from the run game. Just like you said, just to keep the defense honest. I mean, mix it up a little bit. Not really looking for 3-down pass territory, but
what's crazy about this is, all right, they know we're a team that passes. So they bring their guys back, and we still can't get any yards. That don't make any sense to me. That don't make any sense.
Because even if you're just doing some screens, like that could be your extension of the run game. Because if they bring in, people almost every down, you get that screen. Once you get to the second level, you should be getting some yards after the catch on that.
start eating a little bit. I mean, that's Andy's wheelhouse too. Especially the West Coast offense.
Westbrook back in the day, I mean,
Yeah.
that used to be one of his go-tos with that screen game.
And even with receivers too. I mean, technically you throw a backwards pass, basically, essentially the same thing as a run. So, Freddie Mitchell's of the world.
Jeremy Maclin used to get a lot of those.
Get your speedy guys out on that.
Deshaun.
Get them out there and.
I think
get a
that
good
could
chunk of
even be,
yards.
a good way to use Pringle. I mean, because he ain't slow.
And he's breaking tackles
Break those
like
tackles.
no other.
Yeah.
So he's not going to go down off that first hit.
Yeah, so start with the short game, and then kind of open up some for Mahomes. They got to block better, man.
Yeah.
I believe in Andy, though. I believe in the coaching staff. I think they're going to right the ship. It might not be a quick fix, but I think they'll figure it out.
Do you run some more offensive schemes to bring in more blockers to help?
No, I think we just simple and plain. Like these players need to block better. I mean, the line has to block better. We need to start catching. I mean, it's
Do the job.
The scheme. Yeah, they just got to do their job. The scheme is there. Andy Reid's been doing this for years, being the best offensive coach, offensive mind in the league for years, ever since he pretty much been in the league. We just got to go out and execute. Period. Plain. It's simple and plain. We can't make any excuses. Tyreek's not there. That's cool. Somebody got to go out there and make a play. Period. Patrick Mahomes is on one leg and still balling out. Like we need to figure this out.
Yeah, because if you run if you run like 2 tight end sets to get more blocking, then you sacrifice the options for Mahomes to have down the field.
Yeah, because
so
Blake.
you don't want to sacrifice those big plays just to have more blocking in.
I don't like Blake Bell. The other guy though, Yelder's good. He had a couple catches early.
Yeah.
In the
That the Jazz
Baltimore game, I believe.
Was that Baltimore?
I think it was the Baltimore game. He had the first 2 big catches, and then you didn't
Never
see
see him again.
Nope.
So yeah, maybe the 2 tight end. Bring Yeller in to block every once in a while, and then have him go out there and catch a couple passes, and then hopefully we need to do something else. Like we need to show something else.
And I think even the concern with the 2 tight end set, like if you want to ensure that you have still some options for throwing, then you don't want to be left with an empty backfield. Then they clearly know what the play is going to be.
True.
So
Or have Sherman back there to block too. Maybe have two running backs in the back.
do you double J.J. Watt?
Nah.
He ain't that guy no more.
Yeah, he's not that guy. He's still
can still-
a guy,
He can still rush.
but he's not the guy anymore. And from what I remember, it seemed like we didn't really like double him in the past that much.
No.
We might have chipped him a little bit, but like it just seemed like we always played Houston like they were nothing. And I think we'll do the same thing tomorrow.
And granted, Indianapolis was still our first loss. So I mean, we're not 3-2.
We ain't no scrubs.
Right.
So,
We're not 1-4. So
I think
a little bit of a panic, hit the panic button, but it just seemed like everything was happening at once.
Everything went wrong.
Yeah.
and we still almost had a chance to win at the end of the game. So
Primetime games, we usually get off to slow starts and kind of had to play catch up. And it's kind of the same recipe. It seemed like any time. Usually we finish a lot stronger than we did this previous game, but it seems like to be a trend that I don't like.
right. I'm pretty much done with this segment. If y'all are, I just want to go over the standings really quick in the AFC West. KC's 4-1 now. Oakland is second and 3-2. The Chargers 2-3, and Denver got their first win, I believe, last week.
Yep.
And they're 1-4 now. So We still have a pretty nice cushion. We still got to play everybody twice, except Oakland. Except Oakland. So, and we know what we can do to them, and they got to come to us. So I still feel good about where we're at, going forward. And as the weeks go on, we're just gonna get healthy and be even better team.
Dre made it clear in the Colts game that it seemed like everything was going wrong. When you talk about Baker Mayfield, round 1, pick 1. Since then, it seems like everything has gone wrong. Some majority of it self-imposed. Let's hear that soundbite from Nick Bosa on the Browns 49ers battle from week 5.
Everybody knows what that was for. Just wanted to get payback.
How long were
He had it coming.
How long were you thinking about that? Like, when did you come up with that idea?
Probably during the bye. Me and my buddy Sam, he plays with the Bengals. He played DN with me that year. And I told him I was going to do it, and then he was like, "Hey, I was going to do it when we played him." But I'm glad. I'm glad we won and we dominated. So that's all that really matters.
All right, the key out of that is that there's 2 players who wanted to do that, which brings us into this segment that is a real big issue with Baker and the peers, his peers, within the NFL. We heard the soundbite about what Bosa had to say, but then there was also the issue with him and Sherman. Baker, he didn't get like this in the NFL. He did the same thing when he was in college at Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Just real quick, his stats this year, he's thrown for 1,247 yards, 4 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
God.
He has a QBR of 33.2, which is 31st in the league.
32 teams, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Bleacher Report released that NFL vets are fed up with Baker. A lot of players in the league think Baker is too cocky and acts like a better player than he is. One defensive player with a ring said he acts like he's won 10 Super Bowls and he hasn't won any. And then just some stats from that 49ers game. Baker Mayfield had a passer rating of 13 against the 49ers Monday night.
Dang.
If you take the snap, drop back, and spike the ball into the ground on every play, you get a passer rating of 39.
That's crazy.
He finished with 13.
That's crazy.
And so really he is doing a lot of talking, but not really backing it up. Dre, what you got to say about Baker and his peers?
Thank you. I didn't know if you were leading that topic or I was. My goodness.
Just giving a little background. Go ahead.
Well, thanks. Baker Mayfield, cocky as hell. Let's go back to some of these college stories so you can see where this stemmed from. First of all, he was a 2-time walk-on at Texas Tech, left there, walk-on at Oklahoma, ended up winning the Heisman, as we all know. Throughout that time at Oklahoma, had some troubles. Number one, incident with the cops. I believe it was Arkansas or Alabama, one of the two, one of the deep south states.
I think it's Arkansas.
Obviously, the guy had no speed. Got ran down by a cop. No speed. Man made it like 5 yards and got tackled.
A nice tackle.
Which is why he still gets sacked all the time today. The man has no athleticism at all. Okay? Got into it with Kansas. KU players, for some reason, I don't know if they were feeling themselves that day because they ain't won nothing in years. But they didn't want to shake Oklahoma's hands, Baker Mayfield's hands. And so, after they were killing them, blowing them out, he gave the little cross grab, pointed to him. Then you had Ohio State. He got mad. Okay, this was stupid to me. He got mad because the year before, Ohio State had beat him in Oklahoma, and Ohio State sung their fight song after the game on the not on the field, on the sideline, which everybody does if they win on the road. This isn't just an Ohio State thing. Everybody does that who wins on the road. They go over to their fan section that they're allotted at that venue, and they play the school song and they sing it on the sideline. Everybody does. I just saw Clemson do it last week with whoever they played.
Tradition.
Everybody does that. He took that to heart. He was offended by that. And so the next year after they won, he takes their flag to the middle of the field, swirls it around like he's a drumette, pops it down in the middle of the field. Okay?
Turf.
Turf field, AstroTurf, I don't care what it is.
It was sticking.
He did it right in the middle of the field. He took this. I call it the little man syndrome. I feel like it's what it is. Everybody talks. He got a chip on his shoulder for what? He ain't been disrespected. I ain't never heard nobody completely disrespect Baker Mayfield. He just has this imaginary chip on his shoulder, and then he gets into it. He still carries these like petty beefs. Like last year, he got into it with the quarterback at Texas, Sam Ehlinger, because he played. This guy he wasn't even a rival with you when you were at Oklahoma. Why are you going at this guy?
And he's in college.
He's in college.
You're a professional.
He has nothing to do with you. He's going at Sam Ehlinger for no reason. Like, he just has this chip on his shoulder for no reason. And for that reason, like Darnell said, nobody respects him. He walks around like he has won already, hasn't done anything. Me, stupidly, I picked the Browns to win the division before the year started. That looks like a bust. Yeah, I'll take it. Looks like between the Ravens. It's all the Ravens to lose now because everybody else in the division sucks. But Baker Mayfield, nobody respects him. Now, I will give him this. Richard Sherman lied his ass off. I don't know what the hell Richard Sherman was talking about. Then he gave some weak-ass apology and talking about he was going to text Baker or call him about it. He said Baker didn't shake his hand. Video clearly showed that he slapped his hand. Maybe he didn't shake his hand the way Richard Sherman wanted him to. I don't know if he was expecting a hug or what he was expecting out there.
Pause.
But he slapped his hand, and then after the coin toss, he ran off the field because they were going on offense. Yeah. So he had to go get his helmet. Some quarterbacks like to get a little couple throws in before they go out there.
That's pretty standard.
I didn't see anything wrong with that. Richard Sherman totally blew it out of proportion and then got mad at the media because the media made it a story when you created this controversy. Like Richard Sherman's that's a story for another day too. I have little to no respect for him as well. But Baker Mayfield needs to calm down. He's definitely getting humbled right now.
Yes,
big time.
I forgot when at Rex Ryan. For telling the truth. He is a little overrated in my opinion. I mean, well, if you want to go that route,
that's Rex talk though.
But but again, you're a professional quarterback. You're gonna get criticized all the time. Mahomes gets criticized. Everybody gets criticism. Like you can't respond to everybody.
This man was beefing
Kevin
with his
Durant does.
former head coach.
I was just about to
after
point
he
that
got
out, yeah.
fired.
Hugh Jackson took shots at Hugh Jackson.
Not like he tried to
pointed
leave.
at him on the sideline. Like I'll let somebody else go. But Baker, he needs to calm down. He's definitely getting humbled right now.
Go ahead, Big Iron. Or CJ. Somebody. Who want to jump in first?
I mean,
Go ahead.
Dre pretty much called it. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with this guy. I think little man syndrome is spot on. I would almost compare him to like a KD type as far as like his scrutiny.
Yes.
His the way he just lashes out at people who really has nothing to do with him. And I'm tired of hearing about him too. He needs to produce. He was a number one overall pick. He has Odell right now. He has Landry. He has all these weapons. And he's Chubb, who's balling out. He's about to get Hunt. Like he needs to produce. If they don't make the playoffs this year, they need to be looking at him. They need to be looking at the coach. They need to be making some changes quickly, because if you keep going on with Baker, and he's just going to take y'all down a path y'all don't want to be down.
The path they've been going down for years now.
Yeah.
Everybody thought he was going to be the savior. I mean, maybe a little overrated. I agree with that, but I do think there's some talent there. But so far this season, they've been getting thumped. I mean, he has looked
Weekly.
bad. Yeah. I mean,
Except the Ravens game. Like they went on the road and beat the Ravens in Baltimore.
I mean, Chubb showed out.
Yeah,
I think
that was a
Chubb
lot of Chubb.
Helped out a lot. But yeah, Baker, like, essentially he's been running for his life too. And anytime they get any pressure on him or catch him in the backfield, toast.
Yeah, and
Can't
he
get
has
the ball out.
He escapes no
not,
sacks.
Yeah, he has not been able to has not been able to
no speed
hang on to the
at all.
No,
man.
He ain't been able to hang on to the ball. He fumbles a lot. He's been throwing a lot of interceptions. He need to take care of the ball. And do y'all think that him being, the height that he is has a lot of effect on his game?
Possibly.
I mean, but Drew Brees is around the same height.
But they're different quarterbacks. Drew Brees is a technician. He knows
Timing.
He has the timing. He knows defenses, things like that.
Veteran.
Baker,
Well,
it
Baker
seems
could
like he's
be,
like the
though.
backyard player. Like, all right, I'm about to go out there and run around, almost like a Johnny Manziel a little bit. I'm gonna run around and make a play.
There's a lot of similarities between those two.
I agree.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and honestly, it don't matter. Like, he's got two of the best receivers in the game.
Yeah, there's no
out
excuses
wide.
at this point.
Yeah, it was like, you got a lot of help, man. You got to step your game up because I mean, everybody else is pretty much doing what they got to do. I mean, so far it's been
And I think even
pretty cohesive with everybody else, but
Yeah, and when you look at Baker and just kind of make comparisons to everybody else, when is the last time a number one overall pick came in the league with a chip on their shoulder? Like, he's got to calm down. Like, I mean, you won the Heisman, you got drafted number one overall.
Who wasn't? Nobody would have predicted that either. Like, whenever they made that pick, I was like, number one, what?
Right.
Because it was supposed to be Darnold. Everybody was thinking it was going to be Darnold.
everybody except for Baker.
Yeah.
Josh Allen,
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen. Everybody was picking everybody but him. But I mean, obviously they like what they saw, and I think he's got the moxie. He is, at least from college going into the pros, he seemed like kind of your typical gamer. I mean, but he does have the gunslinger mentality. So the interceptions, I'm not surprised by at all. But I mean, he has no escapability. I mean, sometimes you just got to get out quick and let your receivers do the work for you. But hopefully he can step his game up because he's definitely going on not even just a path that he's taking the Browns on, but him personally. I mean, he's gonna be the most hated guy in the league, and I don't really
He's
think
well
that
on his way.
I don't think that he should be, but his actions are taking him
then
down
he-
that road for
Then
sure.
he does this helicopter thing after he throws a touchdown. Like, bro, like, you're not in college no more, bro.
Right.
Like,
Go put your cap on.
and other players don't like to see that. Like, you scored a touchdown. What's your record? Like, they're under 500, right?
Yeah, I think they're 2-3. 2-3.
Like, ain't no way you should be out here showboating and doing all that stuff when you don't even have a winning team right now.
Yeah, and like in 2016, he came in third for Heisman. And then 2017, he won the Heisman, beating out Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way he should be doing. I mean, he has a running game. He has 2 star wide receivers. There's no way he should be performing the way he's been performing.
Well, let's just be honest. People only feel the way they felt about Baker because of that stretch late last year. And
Yeah.
it was playing. They only played like handful of teams that made the playoffs, and they only beat one of them. So
Yeah.
it's not like he was out here really doing something.
Yeah,
I think they just got caught up in the hype.
won a couple games, like Trey said, and they got caught up in the hype.
and they got close. They really made a playoff push last year, and nobody was expecting that.
Yeah,
from
it's
them.
like I don't remember who was starting for them last year.
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So then they bring in Baker, and they actually did win some games. And like Chris said, made that playoff push. And then offseason, you bring in Landry, you bring in Beckham.
Well, Landry was already there.
Yeah,
Landry
Landry
was
was
already
there.
there.
You bring in Beckham. Then you bring, Kareem's gonna eventually play. You got Chubb. Then you got Garrett. I mean, so they had on paper a
look
nice
good.
squad.
Oh yeah,
And so I think he did come in a little cocky.
feeling himself.
And then even with the losses, he's still just as cocky. Like, I just don't get it. And like, clearly Bosa didn't forget.
Like last year, I mean, look at his numbers from last year.
All right, last year, he started 13 games, 63% passing, threw for 3,700 yards. Where's 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions.
I mean,
He had a QBR of 93.7.
I mean, other than the interceptions, I mean, the numbers are there, but he has to start taking care of the ball.
Got
Period.
to.
And now that he had those 13 starts, he said those 13 starts, every team's going to adjust to how he plays, and everybody's starting to adjust, and it's starting to show in his play this year. So he needs to adjust. I mean, he has, like, keep saying, he has a running game now. He has Chubb. He's about to get Kareem Hunt, so he's really about to have a running game.
Yeah.
And he has Odell Beckham, arguably the top 5 receiver in the game. And he has Jarvis, who is arguably top 15 wide receiver in the game. No excuses, period.
Yeah. So
Maybe it's some coaching.
he clearly has the help.
Maybe once they get heavy into the division, that'll give him some confidence and hopefully just allow him to play better.
Yeah. I think if he just stop talking and start playing, I think he'll be fine.
That'll definitely help.
That game, I think, threw a lot of us off. Like, he just did not play well at all against the 49ers.
I expected San Francisco to win.
I
didn't. I expected
I didn't
the
think it was
Browns
going to be like that either.
I did pick the Browns to
They
win.
got thumped.
But yeah. So
I don't remember who I chose.
It's an inside
amnesia.
information.
and so that game clearly
Losing amnesia. Huh?
went a lot different. What was the other surprises from week 5?
Week 5 surprises. I loosely touched on it earlier, but Houston, they balled out. Houston Texans balled out last Sunday. Deshaun Watson, 28 for 33 passes, 426 yards and 5 touchdowns. Also, Will Fuller had 14 grabs, 217 yards and 3 of those touchdowns. Also Hyde with a touchdown. I put up 53 points. I wasn't expecting that. And also the Packers Cowboys game. Not the fact that
that's the one I was going to talk about.
Not the fact that the Packers won the game, but they got out and got on top early. I mean, they kept their foot on the pedal too, and then
I thought it was just me. Go ahead.
no, yeah, but they definitely got the end zone early and often, and kept their foot on the gas pedal. Teddy Bridgewater, he's been surprisingly better than just a game manager. I mean, last week he was 26 for 34, 314 yards and 4 touchdowns with an interception, but he's been very serviceable for them. I mean, they've been winning games. They're moving right along without Drew Brees, and by the time he comes back, they should be definitely still in contention for the division and obviously for the playoffs as well. Cardinals got their first win. I was kind of surprised, but they look pretty good. Murray did pretty good.
Who they play?
Cincinnati.
The Red Rifle.
It was 26-23 though. It was
Yeah,
close.
but I don't know who their backup is, but they might as well just play him.
Zach Taylor.
Yeah, put that coach in for sure.
Hey, Nebraska.
I was about to say, did he go to Nebraska?
Nebraska's own. Raiders, I mentioned it earlier. They're second in the AFC West division. They've been coming along pretty much ever since that slow start that they got off to. But they were in London. They play Chicago really well. They're kind of surprising me lately too.
Yeah, mine was gonna be that Packers Cowboys game. I was shocked how bad of a start Dallas got off to in that game, and Aaron Jones was he looked like Barry Sanders out there. Like, Cowboys gonna stop him. Ended up with 4 touchdowns. Dak played like trash that first half. Picks all over the place. One was off of Amari Cooper's hands. I'll give him but it was behind him. But still, Cooper should have made the catch. But Dak didn't look good. Ezekiel Elliott, they still not running him. He only got 12 carries. I don't know if I feel like they're trying to turn it into the Dak show. Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, looks like he's going more the passing route than trying to go away from Ezekiel.
This is boy.
Kind of like what Seahawks did with Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch. I feel like trying to go more quarterback heavy. So we'll see how that works out in the end. Now, Dak did turn it on in the second half, but that's because they had to pass because they was so far behind. Ended up with over 400 passing yards. Amari Cooper ended up with like 226 receiving yards. So, I mean, he balled out. He had a good stat line if you play fantasy. But, Packers was never in doubt in that game at all. And then my other surprising one that I wanted to talk about, like you brought up, was that Bears-Raiders. Like, I was shocked. I mean, Raiders looked good.
Yeah.
Like, no lie. Derek Carr looked good. I like Jacobs anyway. I always thought he was a good running back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a great pickup for them. But poor Chase Daniel. I mean,
YZ.
he gave it his best. But I mean, you could clearly see he's a backup for a reason. He's been a backup all these years for a reason. But yeah, that was my other surprise.
I don't know if the outcome was so much of a surprise with the Seahawks and Rams, but now that's 2 in a row for the Rams, so that's kind of tough, especially when people had pretty high hopes for them. Of course, we was all surprised. We talked about it earlier, Chiefs and Colts. The Titans and Bills game was kind of tough. I mean, you lose by 7, but you miss 4 field goals. I mean, you don't have to get an attitude about it.
What was the surprise? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
They went, and we talked about
They
that,
should've
about
won
the
that
kicker.
game, yeah.
We talked about it before the game. And
Yeah.
now he's out of town.
And he's gone.
Yeah.
And so
Will the Titans make the playoffs? I just want a simple yes or no will suffice.
if they do it, it'd be wild card.
I mean,
'Cause
yeah.
I think the Colts will still.
I don't
even with Jacoby
want
Brissett,
any
the Colts-
ifs.
Texans?
I don't
Yeah.
want any waverings. Yes or no?
That's, this year, no.
Shoot, they got the Jags too, right? That's a tough division.
Yes, AFC South's always been a tough division.
Just asking if they were making the playoffs. That's all I wanted to know.
I said no. I'm a realist.
Real quick too.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Dre, you brought up Russell Wilson earlier. I think he's slowly creeping him into the MVP discussion too.
He's number one right now,
He's-
as far as I'm concerned.
He's been playing really well. No interceptions, 12 touchdowns, just over
I'm
1,400
telling
yards, I
you,
believe.
I told you a couple episodes ago.
Did you?
Sierra been putting it on him.
Oh,
Before the game.
You
said-
did.
said
You did the 1-2 step on him, huh?
I'm telling you. She brought them
Them
goodies out.
goodies.
She brought the goodies out.
Hey,
and then she told him to level up. And he been
Oh,
leveling up.
He bringing them, he bringing them
Let
checks
the
home.
let the way you ride.
We can go all day
I
with
mean, he's
this.
just a completely different person on and off the
And
field.
Russell Wilson said, "Oh, I'm
Hey.
telling you."
hey, you know that playlist going before the game.
I mean, he's completely
Getting that live
different
performance.
on and off the field. I mean, I don't even recognize him sometimes in his pregame speeches and his postgame speeches. I'm like, you got a gold chain on?
I'm telling you.
Oh, dangerous.
Sierra done brought that swag out of him.
Hey,
Right.
he did cry in that postgame after the Rams.
So you got some surprises, Big Iron?
My week 5 surprise is actually a surprise of the season for me. Is the Atlanta Falcons?
Oh my God.
Man,
They are
every
1-4.
Briefly spoke on that last week.
Man.
They're disappointing.
Yeah, it's
What has happened to Matt Ryan?
they.
Is Julio hurt? I thought I saw something
think
that
he
he might
is.
miss some time.
I didn't see that.
I thought I
but
saw that this week.
But Chris said it a few weeks ago. That contract is always.
Oh, it's undefeated.
Yeah, Julio got his contract.
I mean, he's been getting paid every year though.
I know. I'm just
They've
saying.
literally been paying him every year. Every year he's like, "Oh, Odell got more money than me.
And he
I want
gets it.
$1 more," and he gets it. So I don't think it's the contract. He is getting kind of long in the tooth, so to speak, as far as the NFL.
Yeah.
I think he's 31. I think he's our age. So,
That's
I mean, that could be a thing, but them being 1-4 is very surprising to me. I mean, they beat the Eagles. That's their only win of the year.
They
So
played some good defense in that game, but it's been non-existent since then.
yeah, I mean,
like we said. The Texans put up 53 on them.
Yeah, evidently their defense is trash. I mean, no disrespect to Deshaun Watson. He's good, but man, he ain't 5 touchdowns good.
I wasn't expecting that.
My goodness, Fuller was wide open on a lot of those throws. I don't know what the secondary was doing out there. I mean, Fuller does have hands. Don't they got Kenny Stills too?
yeah. We talked about. He's questionable for tomorrow.
He's questionable for tomorrow.
They finally got their offensive line to help him a little bit.
Oh, Tunsil out there.
Hey.
Laramie. No gas mask.
I was just about to say that. I forgot about that until then.
That first game, or maybe it was week 1, maybe week 2. That Monday night game, Houston played New Orleans. Deshaun was running for his life that game. But since then, they've been kind of shirting up a little bit, giving him some time. I mean, definitely enough time to throw 5 tubs. That's
52.
he balled out. But yeah, Atlanta has been very disappointing.
All right. Week 6 coming up. Here it is, our predictions. Currently, I'm 1-2. Dre, 1-2.
You been keeping track of this?
Yeah, that's the point.
I don't keep track of my records. Let me see.
Big Earns 2-1, and CJ is 2-1.
Okay.
So we're going into week 6, Lions versus Packers.
You pick first, because from now on, whoever you pick, I'm picking the opposite. I'm done.
Or you should go with me and Chris.
Well, I'm picking the Packers for Monday night. Draw.
Is it in Green Bay?
Yeah, they at home.
Oh, it is? Oh,
I'm going definitely Packers then. I'm going Packers.
Thank you for agreeing with me.
I think it's going to be a sweep of this. I'm going with the Packers as well. Aaron Jones is going to run the hell out of the ball.
Yeah, going Green Bay for sure. Maybe give an edge to Detroit if it was at home for them, but nah. I think they'll slowly turn into who we really think that they are.
I think they're still a decent team, though.
The Lions.
Yeah, everybody hates Matt Stafford. I've always liked him.
I know somebody on the panel who's not a Matthew Stafford fan.
This guy right here. Never been a fan of Matt Stafford. I mean, Calvin Johnson made him, in my opinion. I'll go to my grave thinking that, which might be in a few years. Who knows? But
Interesting.
what?
Is that a hot take?
I'm not gonna wood. I take that.
Cool
back.
that down.
Yeah.
I'm not for you, too.
Yeah.
Is that your final take? Or?
No.
Pun intended.
That was the Crown Apple speaking. But no.
That sounds delicious. But anyway, go
Never-
ahead.
yeah, never-
We ain't sponsored yet. Stop.
Never been a Crown Peach. Never been a vanilla. Also, never been a Matt Stafford guy. But we'll see. It is in Green Bay. It's gonna be cold. Balls are gonna shrink up out there. We'll see. We'll see
Pause.
who the real man is.
Pause.
Who really comes to play. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna have a good game.
I think Aaron Rodgers will definitely outdo Matt Stafford for this game. Their division is tough too, though.
Yeah,
Chicago,
Kirk Cousins,
good defense.
because Minnesota
Minnesota's-
won last week, didn't it?
Yeah,
Against the Giants
they beat the Giants, I believe, 28-10.
after Thielen got in Cousins' ass.
Called him out. He said,
Yeah.
"Hey, play better." He did it.
Pause.
Yeah, he did. Adam Thielen, he's that type. He don't play that.
Yeah. Well, this is KC Sports Bros podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. Push that subscribe button and stay looking for more episodes as we go. Top 5 of the week. So episode 9, top 5 comedians. We all know comedy is subjective, but I'm sure some of our lists will be extremely similar. I could be wrong, but we shall see.
The way your list have been going, I highly doubt it. But go ahead. We'll see.
No, that was really just the sports movies that you just didn't like.
I still ain't let that go.
The rest of them have been fine. So I'll start us off. My honorable mentions: Cedric the Entertainer, Mike Epps, Martin Lawrence, D.L. Hughley, Bruce,
Don't take them all now.
Steve Harvey, and Deion Cole. Those are my honorable mentions.
Yeah,
Cole, he is hilarious.
I'm not mad at that.
So, yeah, I need to check that out. Top 5. Number 5, Dave Chappelle. Stand-ups are kind of cool. I do like some of his stand-ups. Chappelle Show, which he did right for, weighs heavy. That was a hilarious show.
Hilarious.
I don't think anybody could say that show was not funny. Number 4, Lavelle Crawford.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay.
Number 4?
I am a fan.
That man is hilarious. I have not heard any
I
stand-ups
like them
of
in
him.
Breaking Bad.
That were not
good. Lavelle Crawford over Mike Epps and Martin Lawrence?
In my opinion, yes.
Go on.
Number 3, Kevin Hart.
Oh,
What the heck was that? Pause.
You all right?
He'd be all right.
this list is
Number 2, Cat Williams. That one okay?
yeah, that's fine.
Lee. And number 1, Bernie Mac.
Okay. I like it.
To my right.
Yeah, let's man. Lavelle Crawford. I mean, no disrespect. Lavelle Crawford is funny, but top 5 of all time? Oh man, I take Lunel. Honorable. I mean, You know what I'm saying? I'll take
Are you on this list?
What about Gary Owen?
Adele Givens.
Some
You
more.
can't say Lavelle ain't funny though.
Bruh man. Somebody. Man.
Shanae.
Monique.
Monique, bring some chicken wings in here. My honorable mention, I got Steve Harvey. Flat top Steve Harvey, not ball Steve Harvey. Flat top Steve
You don't
Harvey.
like ball?
Family Feud, Steve Harvey?
I'm going flat top Steve Harvey.
To this day.
Back when he still cussed. I'm going flat top Steve Harvey. Mustache. I don't know how he went down on ladies with that stash. But anyways, Cat Williams is in my honorable mention as well. Love Cat. Man, one of my favorite Cat. Me and my boy Jerron was talking about it, I think a couple weeks ago. When he went on that, I think it was Atlanta radio station.
Put a little Zatarain.
Roasted. If you haven't seen this video,
Not familiar.
Oh my
man.
God.
Goes in on this host.
He asked the lady, "What's your go-to meal?" She said broccoli. And this man lit.
That's it.
This man lit it, bro. You gotta watch.
I'm watching it as soon as we're done.
I won't even do it justice. Like this, you gotta watch it. Another honorable mention. I'm going Bernie Mac.
Whoa.
Martin is on my honorable mentions. Jamie Foxx. Don't sleep on the comedian Jamie Foxx.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's a strong pick.
Great stand-up specials. And my last will be Said the Entertainer. Love Said the Entertainer. Number 5. You either like him or you don't. I don't know why. I like him though. Kevin Hart. I'm going number 5. You can't. Great stand-up specials. Movies. Some are trash. Some are good. But for the most part, he does have good movies. I feel like he had a good bounce back with that Jumanji. I liked it. Number 2 coming out. Number 4. This man is the gospel, okay? The player's pastor, Corey Holcomb. This man, Corey Holcomb, is hilarious. If you don't know who
I call flack for Lavelle Crawford.
I take Corey Holcomb over Lavelle Crawford.
No way.
Have you heard Corey Holcomb? This man is hilarious.
I know who he is. That's why I'm debating. God. I ain't saying he ain't funny.
Oh man,
I'll even go D-Ray.
Like
man.
top 5.
I'm going Corey Holcomb on my list. I'm going Corey Holcomb. He speaks to me.
I about to say that's a personal pick.
He speaks to me.
That ain't got nothing to do with comedy. Go ahead.
Back in the day, not right now. He spoke to me back in the day. Number 3, I'm going Dave Chappelle. Okay, sketch show. I mean, we used to come to high school the days after his show and talk about what we saw on TV. Some of the funniest sketches of all time. You got the Prince sketch. You got the Rick James, which is probably as much iconic. My all-time favorite, though, the white supremacists.
Clayton Bigsby.
Bigsby.
If anybody gonna have sex with my sister, it's gonna be me.
Clayton Bigsby. Okay. The man had me in tears.
That's how you started the show out.
Man.
Oh my God. Just show us your face, brother.
You want to see my face?
The man
want to see my face.
The man was hilarious. And then the stand-up specials are iconic too. I gotta go Dave Chappelle. Number 2, I'm going Mike Epps. Okay, I love Mike Epps. Me and Chris still quote Mike Epps lines to this day. Tony bought me a sweater. Take me to the mall, baby.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The man came. He does impersonation. Does best I've ever heard. Do Judge Joe Brown. Kills it every time.
I agree.
Does a little Montel Williams. Does everybody. Mike Epps is hilarious. My number 1 of all time, I'm going Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy. Okay. Regardless of the transsexual stuff back in the day, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. He just gave the young lady a ride. Stop holding that against him. The man is hilarious. Classic movies. You got, might not be a classic to some people, but I'm going Nutty Professors, Beverly Hills Cop, 1, 2, 3 is all right. Norbit, some people don't like it.
Yeah.
Norbit's hilarious to me.
Yes,
I
it
love
is.
Norbit.
How you doing?
¿Cómo está?
I'm with child.
Harlem Nights is one of my all-time favorites. And, of course, my number 1 of all time, Coming to America, the greatest comedy, in my opinion, ever put on a movie. Eddie Murphy is my number 1 comedian of all time.
Big Iron.
All right, honorable mention. I have
Trying to remember to introduce y'all on these.
Thank you. Wake up over there.
Appreciate it, host.
All right, my honorable mention. Go Jerry Seinfeld. Love that show. Okay. Got a racist in here.
Whoa!
He didn't say Michael Richards. He said Jerry Seinfeld.
Whoa! I love my Caucasian friends. Come on, man. You can't put that tag on nobody.
All right. What do you think about Jim Carrey? I got Jim Carrey on my list.
I like Jim. Ace Ventura's one of my
The
favorite
Mask.
movies.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
Mask.
Liar.
Liar's a
Hey,
classic.
classic.
We already mentioned Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Martin Lawrence, and Little Duval. He's hilarious to me,
Okay.
especially on Twitter.
I think it's kind of sad, even with Lil Duval, it's a lot of younger kids who don't find him to be funny because they only know him from music. But it's like, no, he actually used to do stand up.
Oh, yeah.
He used to do stand up, and it was
Didn't
good.
Didn't he win one of the?
He did.
What was that on BT or what was that called with the comedians? Like
Comic View.
no,
Well,
it wasn't
no, it was
Comic
a
View.
competition.
It was a
Oh, the
competition.
competition. I don't remember what the name
Okay.
of it was, but he won
Last
one
Comic
of those.
Standing was it?
I think that might have been like a
That was an NBC show,
national
Okay.
broadcast.
I think Lavelle Crawford may have won that. Y'all want to fact
I
check
know.
that?
I
He
think
won an eating contest. I ain't never saw him win.
Did he beat Bruce?
he beat Kobayashi. All right, jumping into my top 5. Number 5, I had Bernie Mac. I mean, you got the Bernie Mac show. You got the original Kings of Comedy. R.I.P. Bernie Mac. Number 4, I got Kevin Hart. Laughing My Pain. All of his stand-ups are really good. I think he pretty much brought back the comedian. Because for a while nobody was really talking about, like, going to stand-up specials or going out and seeing a comedian. I think Kevin Hart brought that back. My number 3 is Cat Williams. American Hustle is probably one of my favorite stand-ups of all time right there. Hilarious. Pretty much brought Cat Williams to the forefront and put him on the map. Number 2, I got Eddie Murphy, trendsetter.
Trendsetter.
The coats that he used to wear, his suits that he used to wear. I mean, yeah. I mean, Eddie Murphy's Eddie Murphy. All the movies that he's made, all the money that he's made, it's crazy. He doesn't have to.
Still making.
Hey.
I heard that. I think he just signed a deal with Netflix.
Yeah, he got like a Dolomite movie or something on Netflix.
Okay, yeah, and I think he signed a stand-up deal
A
too.
stand-up deal.
too.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. So Eddie Murphy's still drawing crowds, still drawing the money, the big box office money. And my number 1 is Dave Chappelle. I mean, got the Chappelle Show. I know you guys are the same age as me, but I remember that's all we used to talk about in the lunchroom in high school.
That's it.
Was the Chappelle Show. My favorite skit was the Prince skit.
Okay.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And Killing Him Softly was my favorite stand-up.
We watched that a many a times.
Yeah. So Dave Chappelle's my number 1. Another honorable mention, you got Richard Pryor, the late great Robin Williams. Damon Wayans is up there with me with the Wayans. My Wife and Kids, Major Payne, good movies, and then obviously Chris Rock is up there as well.
I could do without Chris Rock, but I could see why you would have him on there.
All right, to my right.
All right, CJ Mayo, top 5 comedians. I'll start with honorable mentions. I'll go Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Cat Williams, Martin Lawrence.
I didn't know you was the top 5 police over here. We all looking at him like, is that all right? Is that
Yeah, it's every week.
That's acceptable.
It says Steve Harvey, which pretty much everybody. Mike Epps, too. Honorable mentions. Start with number 5. I'll go Kevin Hart. Like you said, a lot of movies and stand-ups. I mean, regardless of whether you think it's funny or not, the man puts the work in for sure.
True.
He's on the road. He's writing movies. He's got his own network or his own publishing team and all that. He does a lot, but I do happen to think he's funny. Interesting storyteller.
Yes.
It is just with the funny because it's not always like punchline jokes.
Just the way he tells the story.
The way he tells the story, the way he reenacts and he implements himself into them. I like that. I appreciate that in the comedy. Number 4, going Bernie Mac. Like I said earlier, rest in peace. But before that happened, had a classic show, which I was a little surprised how well his show did because coming off of Kings of Comedy, he's pretty raw.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if he was made for
National television.
Yeah, national television.
His wife was bad on there too.
Kalita Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, very funny. I mean, because he started that, or basically the show started off a joke that he told in Kings of Comedy, and then it kind of transitioned into that. But real funny dude. I mean, definitely in the Def Comedy Jam days, he was killing on there. He ain't scared of nobody, just so y'all know.
Yeah.
Some milk and cookies.
Right. Some iconic lines and stories that he told too. Number 3, I'm going Richard Pryor. Mainly for, I believe Richard was ahead of his time. The things that he was doing and saying on stage.
And off stage.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Ask
Homo.
okay.
Marlon Brando.
Well, him too, but Quincy Jones, he'll tell you all about it.
Quincy Jones told on everybody.
Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones tell you all about
Yeah,
it.
he snitched.
He was Takashi before.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
No face tap.
Have y'all ever seen a movie? The movie Moving with Richard Pryor? Hilarious.
Is that where he was the bus driver? No. Okay. No. He was funny.
Go see it.
Yeah.
Check
and
that out.
he was especially for his time though. I mean, he was talking about a lot of crazy stuff and a lot of vulgarity, but I think that enhances some of the comedy. Number 2, I'm going Dave Chappelle. Everybody's mentioned the Chappelle Show. Numerous stand-ups. He's another interesting one too because he's just a good talker. Like he'll sit there and sit on a stool, smoke a cigarette, drink a drink, and just talk to the crowd. And the dude's hilarious. He's telling stories and do it. Go to random clubs. Just show up, do a 2-hour set, chilling with the crowd. But man's hilarious. But by far, that's probably one of my favorite TV shows, the Chappelle Show. And number 1, I'm going Eddie Murphy also.
Hell yeah.
I mean, iconic movies, iconic stand-ups. Another one who I thought was ahead of his time. I mean, just some of the content that he was coming with and the performance. Also, too, with his movies, playing multiple characters. I mean, the writing ability that he had, and then just how he allowed other comedians to come pretty much eat off of his tree, too. He wasn't real stingy like that. He gave a lot of people a lot of opportunities, making a lot of shmoney, made a lot of movies. Like you said, he's still going to this day, so I think he's one of the best to me to ever tell a joke on stage. It's my top 5.
I'll throw Bill Cosby in there.
I'm not touching that one.
I mean, how he kept all this under wraps for years. One of the biggest comedic wins we've ever seen, I'd have to say. The man...
Comedic win?
Comedic wins. I don't know how this stuff never got out. How it passed.
When he was active comedian for a while.
I haven't seen. Has anybody ever seen any of Bill Cosby's stand-ups?
I've seen one of them.
Pretty sure I have too.
I've seen
stand-ups?
I've seen you tell some jokes before, yeah.
Are they funny?
It wasn't bad.
I mean, he was...
and then
Pudding?
generally...
Talk about some pudding?
then that kind of, I guess, led into the kids say the darndest things. Like, you got to have something prior to that other than just the Cosby Show.
Yeah, he was 60s, 70s.
Yeah, like the show, the one stand-up that I seen, I saw a couple snippets. It wasn't bad.
Did you see any signs that was going on?
He made Lil Bill, man.
Huh? He made a lot of little bills, apparently.
Okay.
Just like, he pulled Antonio Brown. That was on the back.
Oh,
Nothing new under
yeah.
nothing new under the sun.
Do we got sleepers?
Let's see, Rodman. I don't know if y'all know who that is. I thought he was kind of funny.
Yeah, I heard.
Light skin, kind of heavy set.
No, he was. He talked funny, which made the storytelling that much more funny.
Was Chappelle in your top 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm thinking of Red. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, Red Grant.
Hilarious.
He's pretty funny too.
Yeah.
Who's your female comedian? Who would you go female wise? I like Adele Givens. I saw her in person. She was hilarious.
Adele's cool. I actually like Lunel.
Yeah, Lunel's
she's funny. She'll say anything too.
Anybody a Monique fan?
Too. No,
okay. I'm not.
I like the show.
The show.
Yeah, the show was cool. I've never really been a fan of her stand-up.
The Parkers.
Yeah, Samora was hilarious.
Yeah, some more is a good one.
Funny. A little nasty. It's right up your alley.
I was about to say, in a good way. I mean, that's not a bad trait. Some of us are freaks, okay, Chris? My goodness.
No judgment.
Hey, my son listens to this, man.
Oh, I'm in Freaks for the Lord.
Oh,
Yeah.
great cleanup.
Yeah,
do,
that.
do we have final takes?
Great cleanup.
Radical about Christ.
Can we get the final takes, please?
CJ, final take. Golly.
Getting my composure here. Final take. I'm looking for the Chiefs to bounce back strong this week. Tough competition coming into town, but it is at home. Looking for Mahomes to bounce back. Said his ankle's feeling pretty good. Hopefully we see the scoring that we're used to from that high power offense. Hopefully they can definitely just score enough to get the W.
You got a
For the
score?
Chiefs to bounce back.
Got a score?
Probably think of maybe 34-31 Chiefs.
Close.
I think so. Well, looking for the Chiefs to win.
Big Iron, final take.
Yeah, me too. All right, final take I have is I think the NFL needs to go ahead and axe pass interference challenges. Slowing down the game. There's a stat.
We're not winning them.
Yeah, there's a stat since week 3. NFL coaches are 1 for 21 on pass interference challenges. So, I mean, obviously they're not overturning them. Yeah, it was an unfortunate thing that happened last year with the New Orleans Saints game and the Rams. Yeah, maybe they can put something in where I would rather you can have only one pass interference challenge a game.
Do you think it'd be better if it's like how they do it in the last 2 minutes? It has to come from.
Oh yeah. I mean, even something like that too. Yeah, but what this is doing is they're not overturning it, and it's slowing down the game.
Think they want to.
Yeah, they don't want to. They don't want to unless it's blatantly obvious, like the New Orleans and the Rams game. And I think the reason why is because they don't want to take away the human part of the game with the refs. I mean,
and the refs don't want to be wrong.
Yeah, and they don't want to have the refs be wrong as well. So I think, maybe they should do like the last 2 minutes of the game. They can go to the booth and say like, we missed this call or something like that. Or maybe just give them one pass interference for the entire game challenge. But I'm just tired of seeing it. I'm tired of this slowing down the game. And I just want to get back to playing regular football like we've been doing it for years. That's my final take.
Dre, final take.
Final take.
Yeah, make that plural.
Final take. Number one, I might only do one today. This has really been laying heavy on my heart.
All right.
We've got to stop these love and hip hop shows. I mean, the washed up stars they trying to bring back. I mean,
anybody in particular you referring
Charlie
to?
Baltimore. I mean,
Whoa.
Charlie freaking Baltimore.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't seen
That
this.
is clearly not a name I thought you was going to say.
Murder Inc.
I haven't seen her since 04.
We're gonna talk about Murder Inc.
04.
Maybe before that.
Yeah, 01.
I mean, I thought she died, to be honest. But Charlie Baltimore came back on there. On the Miami one, you had Pleasure P, the whole Pretty Ricky crew. I mean, all of them, they should be called Old Ricky now. All of them look like trash. LA, you got Fizz. He doesn't want to be called Little Fizz anymore. It's Fizz now.
It's Big Fizz now. Pause.
I mean, well, maybe you know something I don't. I don't know. But
Sure, Chris does.
but
Not this Chris.
Oh, Christo.
So wrap this up, B. Wrap that gavel up.
I'm not done. I'm not done. They brought back Marcus Houston last week, and now they're bringing back the whole immature. So all of them was on there.
Oh wow.
Still
Well,
got
they get ready to go on tour.
I was just about to say,
I don't
wow.
care.
That's a setup.
the dude's 40, still wearing an eye patch. Romeo, give it up. Come on, man. He was doing that when you were 7 on
Can he see?
House Party 3. Come on. Who else? Who else? L.A. Ray J. He just annoys me every time he's on there. They need to stop.
He also had a pretty good rant back in the day too.
And then New York, they got Flavor Flav's kids on there. Who the hell wants to see Flavor Flav's kids? All of them are ugly, just like him. He got about 10 kids. I mean, it's just they gotta stop. They gotta stop. But evidently, people are tuning in. And then don't get me last but not least, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Now this is probably the most interesting one because at least you get to watch Bow Wow make a fool of himself every week.
Chad Moss.
Dude's hilarious. He has that little man syndrome as well. Always fighting chicks, which is a bad sign. Man's a woman beater. I'm just throwing it out there. Who else you got? Waka Flocka's on there. Him and Tammy. Good choice.
They did that marriage boot camp thing too, didn't they?
And then R. Kelly's side piece. I guess it was ex-wife, whatever she was.
She's on there.
She's on there.
Golly.
R. Kelly's kids. Okay, I don't talk about people's kids, but all I'm going to
Except
say.
for Flavor Flav's.
They're ugly.
Did I say they was all ugly? But that's not.
I've never seen
Let's
them.
not talk about them if it's facts. R. Kelly's kids.
Okay.
R. Kelly's kids. I mean, the daughter is clearly special, and that's me being nice. The son is clearly creative. You can read into that what you want, but the shows have got to stop. I guess it's a check, but it's got to stop. That's my final take.
We wait all the way to the end to get off the rails.
Hey, Flavor Flav got 7 kids.
Terrible. My final take.
You going Love and Hip Hop too?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't watch any of them, so I don't know none of the stuff that's going on there. I have been, I don't know if anybody else has been watching it, but I've been surprised at Zion's performance thus far in the preseason. I know it's preseason.
Oh my God.
I was not a big Zion fan going into the season.
One shout out to Paint.
12 for 13 is a good night for anybody. I don't care who you are.
Layups and dunks.
Somebody still got stopped him. He did hit a 3 though.
Can he do that night in and night out for 82 games?
Now that's still to be determined.
Yeah.
But so far, what we've seen, I've been mildly impressed. That's not a real telltale sign for what the rest of the season will hold, but it's not a bad start.
You seem to be easily impressed. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying he had
12 for 13. All were dunks and layups.
It's still their job to stop him, though, ain't it?
It was against the Hawks, wasn't it?
One of them.
Not that game, but
12 for 13 game. Wasn't that against the Hawks? Or was who? No, that was who was they playing?
the
Bulls.
Yeah.
It was against the Bulls. But who the Bulls had?
It's preseason though, so I'm not saying hang your hat on it like it's gonna be an every night thing. I'm just saying these look good thus far in the preseason.
Lakers look good in preseason too. Everybody looks good in preseason.
What'd you think about the Lakers?
I am loving it. Top to bottom, this lineup it's gonna be Avery Bradley on D. Danny Green's gonna get more wide open threes than he ever had in his career.
I like JaVale, Davis, and Howard together.
Ooh,
I think that's gonna be.
Howard looks focused out there.
They changed my perception. They look real good. Yeah,
some with his thumb.
Sprain thumb.
Yeah, nothing big.
He'll be all right.
He'll be ready when the season starts.
they look good.
Just have LeBron suck on it like he does every other Friday night. He'll be good.
Excuse me.
Thank y'all for joining in the KC Sports Bros podcast. Push that subscribe button.
I was talking about his thumb.
Push that subscribe button.
Hit it again.
Be ready for more episodes.
Pause.
And then be on the lookout for episode 10 as we try to stay on the rails, or at least keep Dre on the rails, so we can get through.
That's a tall task.
Don't single me out
Man.
like that.
After you do your final takes, you are getting muted every episode.
Man.
At the
I like
end,
that.
as soon as you say that was my final take, you are muted.
Yeah. And one take this time.
Is Peter Gunn still on there?
No, he gone.
Oh,
He gone, man. Peter Guns is gone.
He's probably still having
He
kids
was back
too.
I say now he's got Flavor Flav beat.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he got a bunch of kids too. Corey Guns.
Thank y'all for joining us.